Sound check. I didn't know if I should go there in my last video, guys. I didn't know if I should turn this into something that is so broad. When it comes to the RCMP, I need to stress real quickly we need law enforcement. We need to be, uh, how do I say this properly? There's so much room for improvement. This is a universal thing. I am preemptively stating that I want to I want Belinda to keep on moving forward with what she planned to do. But I also want to highlight the fact that I don't believe it was a coincidence that with the little information that the RCMP had given us, two things were highlighted that shouldn't have. I looked at this paper, and more than half of the document that the journalist held up seems to have been blacked out and redacted. So the question is what made it into the article and why? Because there is a reason for everything. People and agencies don't make statements just for the heck of it. There is a reason behind it. There is an intention behind it. And no matter how we get led towards the truth, the intentions remain. Intentions are unshakable and they will reveal themselves. So, three different points were made that stand out to me. And the number one is a blatant lie that it's not criminal in nature. It's a blatant lie. So how are they going to sell this to us? Well, the fake tip from Natasha Haywood. Why would they name this woman? Why would they print her whole name? Have you seen that before? She's a random tipster. Because I think they want to give extra credibility to something that has absolutely no bearing on the case. She never saw Jack and Lily. But this is what they're trying to sell to us. And then there's the other thing. Why are they spending time on Cody? Cody has been cleared 100%. Not Daniel, not Malaya, but they don't mention anything about Daniel. The CPS cases, his, well, I guess they do. In one small paragraph they do, and then they link to a previous article of theirs towards the end. But this should be the priority of any article. So this is just another way to impact, sort of keep the public spiritually medicated, if you will. Nothing to see here, guys. Go home. Don't look at us. So I want to make sure that I let you know that I think mentioning Cody has a lot to do with an attitude now where they figure, Belinda, if you're going to do something that may expose our mistakes, we're going to talk about your son. I do believe that. And it doesn't matter if he has anything in his background or not that can be used. They know how to word things. They know how to make the general public love or hate somebody. The media is able to do that. When the media and law enforcement work very closely together without proper self supervision from the public, and the public, believing basically anything that's put out there. I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about the majority that simply goes by whatever they're being presented with. People will forget about the case. Look about Sebastian Rogers. There are so many theories thrown out there that people get worn out by their own theories. And what will happen? People will say, I don't have time for this. I got a life to get back to. Summer breeze. I see where someone not following the case closely may think the story about Natasha Haywood is accurate. Most people probably do. I wouldn't. I mean, I look, but they call me an overthinker, right? I worry too much. But I don't believe it. Of course not. She also mentioned the children wearing shorts. Ages aren't the same as Lily and Jack. Here we go again, smoke and mirrors, in my opinion. Yeah, the foster care system, prison system, school system, and all government systems everywhere are overloaded, broken, and falling apart. You see, people, this is something where I thought about. There's a reason that I wanted him to say it and not me. I'm not in Canada. I've never been to Canada. I don't know anything Canada specific, but I observe cover ups all over the world. And the nature, what works in one country or one province or one state or one county, the approach that works is being copied all over the world, right? And I see when something is headed into a certain direction. I've always said refer to Porter Peak RCMP case. It's embarrassing. Yeah, I don't know about the case yet, but I will check it out. Wow, Belinda. Hi, Belinda. Thank you very much. Wow. Yeah, Belinda. I don't know what to say. I will continue highlighting. I want you to go forward with this, but what I don't want is people to be able to act surprised in the future, surprised about anything. Meaning that when this man is speaking about past cases and cover ups as he alleges, I don't want us to live in a world of wishful thinking ever. Meaning that we are so positive we don't see any warning signs. I see them very, very early. So when I notice that I think there is a message sent to Belinda here, with them mentioning Cody again, because Cody should never be mentioned. He is officially cleared. Daniel is not. So why do you have a long paragraph about this and a long paragraph about the false tip? The message they're trying to send to you, it's not criminal in nature. In other words, don't look at us, don't expect anything from us. And in case that you have doubt, well, let me throw out a couple of complete nonsense scenarios to lead your mind away from where we need to look. Back to Cody, and then to a false sighting. So expect something, guys, and stick with Belinda because she is doing that, and we shouldn't just rely on her to do all the legwork. And there are many ways you can support somebody's cause. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to Now analyze what the RCMP is stating. I've noticed deception in their language from day one, but now it's getting hardcore. So, how can I describe the role I see myself playing? Um, the gate opener, not the gatekeeper, but the gate opener. I'm unlocking the gates. Or at least I put the key into those gates, and then it's up to you to turn them on your own for yourselves. And rather than spending hours on channels where they're guessing around, maybe spend your time supporting the person, the people who are there to find the truth. I listened to this On the Tira guy recently, appearing on a true crime channel that I have never heard of, but they have quite a few viewers. But it is very nice to see somebody who has energy placed into the right direction. I get bored with people who just rehash things, and I don't do that. A lot of people use my content and repeat word for word almost what I say. Unfortunately, many of them try to sell it as their own research without mentioning me. And then they start yapping and watering it down and misleading people after using my content to give themselves credibility. Call them out. Call them out. Don't use my content in order for you to lead people down the various roads of misinformation, right? And no, I don't have time to go out there and talk to everybody. I am doing what I'm doing, and I'm able to do things better because of the many of you who send me wonderful information. So I get straight to it. Natasha Haywood's Facebook, all of these things. That is extremely important to me. There are many ways you can support research that I'm conducting and that also Belinda is doing on her very own. I'm just starting to wonder if the RCMP know what they are doing. Yes and no. Really, someone, I mean, they were, no, on an individual basis, absolutely not. Right? Do you think Officer Oliver knew what he was doing when he allowed Daniel to go back there and remove all of the uh, evidence? Really, someone we all do know Daniel is guilty, and the family were even there that morning. What are the RCMP doing? They are making a lame attempt at ridding themselves of any blame. That is what law enforcement is doing all over the world. All over the world. And I understand some of them are underfunded, understaffed, and they don't have the right proper training, and they're getting blamed for something that, well, then it's time to fix things from top to bottom. It's time for government agencies to, reward the good ones properly and make sure we have the best of the best available at any time. So we don't have to tap in the dark. And remember, early in the case, RCMP found out that Daniel rang the tip line 4 times. Really? So if he can do what's stopping a female, say, staging in that, what the hell are you talking about? What the hell is that? So CB Canada, you say Durwood was right about one thing. The RCMP screwed up, as he said in CBC. Yes, and how does he know that? I believe he knows from inside information just how much they screwed up. I have not heard these statements or any statements from Durwood except one where he says the kids are 1000% alive. Yeah, right. Maybe when Daniel went to police to be polygraphed, he did his fake crying thing and they didn't ask him the hand questions. Yep. Well, remember what Chris Proudfoot said. It's an open book cheat test. They let you reword things in a way that you become more comfortable with the questions and then are able to answer them in a way that it doesn't set off the detectors. So I don't put any weight in the polygraphs. The only thing interesting to me is that I think Janie flunked. And so rather than in the beginning asking her all of the important questions and then saying, you know what, you're not suited for a polygraph, they went for it. And can you believe the hell that went on in this office? Can you can you imagine how she came off in there? She was going, we saw how she is. And yeah, the cops later said, well, this woman is out there. And she probably, with that voice, she was probably talking up a storm. And the officer said, okay, I'm a human being. I don't get paid enough for this crap. In my opinion, I think the RCMP, well, you know what? I will not take sides in terms of what he has been saying. Either way, I am making sure that I am using him to say things that, I am not willing, able, or qualified to say at this point. In general, what I want you guys on my channel to understand is the fact that we cannot be living in a dream world, like most people seem to. That we act too, so nothing can surprise us. We look at the statements and we let the statements guide us to wherever. And we have to be ready for anything. So now that we have this type of backtracking from the RCMP, I would just analyze their statements and show you guys that, well, pass it on to your friends, pass it on to everybody if they're willing to listen. And if they're not, then don't be willing to listen to them either. If they try to explain to you their theories and you know better. I see where someone not following the case closely. Okay, you said this. I see. Mike there on Highway 289 road goes from Brookfield to New Glasgow or Westville. Don't know why they show dirt road. No dirt road, please. I saw no houses near them. Did see the power line exactly. Yeah, and and Belinda said it previously in an interview, right? That she went by the house a few times. Now, how strange is that? Because there's very low traffic, though, right? But she did remember seeing this place out there and had no idea her two grandchildren were stuck on that property. Agree, Mike, this case is going in the wrong direction. If Lily and Jack were on the reserve, we would know by now. See if, yeah, I mean, again, I don't understand, if any channel that gave Durwood the time of day, be very careful with their so-called opinions about anything else. So, when somebody intentionally lies to you or willingly allows somebody else to use their channel to spread misinformation to the public, be very, very weary of this particular channel. Be very, like, lie to me once, shame on you. Lie to me twice, shame on me. Don't live in shame. My daughter rent an upper and Okay, this is about other. Yeah, no, feel free to let us know about other cases with the RCMP, and everything is alleged, by the way. Like, right? I can't do everything. That is why I am talking about God, what's his name again? Well, you saw him in my video, right? And he wrote the. I remember the title of the book though. Anatomy of a Cover Up. That's the name of his book. I haven't read it, but this man has been recommended to me. And so, yeah. And by the way, I always, when I talk about people who are using my content and don't want to mention my name, well, to have the flow of information, I always mention where I got something so that the viewers of mine who are interested in more can go straight there. So my channel is never going to be a dead end. So don't get stuck in dead end channels. And stand up for yourselves and for whoever gives you good information. And most of all, for the victims in any case. And right now we are speaking about Jack and Lily, who have been made a mockery of, which is a big problem that I have with the channels that allow Durwood to speak freely and misinform. You're not doing this for Jack and Lily. You're not doing this for Jack and Lily. You're doing this for yourselves. And you're making a mockery out of it. Of course, everything I'm saying is my opinion and my opinion only. But don't complain about channels either. I'm doing it from time to time because I'm actually there having to sift through a lot of garbage to get to the good, right? Otherwise, I would not watch these channels at all. The best thing to do is always to go for the gold, go where the good things are. It means don't support anybody that doesn't, when you detect that the main intentions are intentions other than solving the case. And when people feel the need to tell you all the time, again and again, this is about Jack and Lily. We are doing this for Jack and Lily. This is only about Jack and Lily. Have you heard me say that before? Before today? I don't feel the need to say that. I don't feel the need to prove to you why I am doing this and what is important to me. So whenever somebody feels the need to convince you, there's a good chance that quite the opposite is being hidden. I may not be from there, but I have followed Lily and Jack case from the first day online from YouTube, and we noticed that there's been some red flags from the start. Why wouldn't RCMP, the stepfather? Yeah, and it doesn't matter where you're from, you know what I mean? There are plenty of people who live very close who don't care. And there are people, in Australia, far away, who do care. So location means absolutely nothing. And that's the beauty of the internet, that you have the right people able to find each other and brainstorm together. But of course, idiots like Daniel Martell and Chris Proudfoot, they will talk about, well, the internet, always the internet. Chris Proudfoot, I can only imagine what your Google and YouTube searches look like, right? And Daniel, pretty similar. So use what you got to get what you need. And the internet is wonderful. And if you don't know how to use it to your real advantage and spend 5 hours in some live chat gossiping about nothing, and afterwards you feel like I'm back to my empty life of absolute redundance, and then you feel the need to say the internet is full of shit. I'm sorry, but then this is on you. This is on you guys. You have the tool right here to research. I constantly research ever since I first gotten online. I never played video games, never. A couple of times I went to, I had some downtime and I went on chess.com. And at first I sucked, and then I beat my first guy after years of not playing. I went to the highest level, and there are three levels, right? The highest one, and the first guy I beat on that level, I said, I'm done now. Back to what matters. But it's very, there is a mindset of consumerism, and there is a mindset, you see, internet is a tool. You can use it as an extension of your mind and being able to answer all of the unanswered questions in your life, or many of them. Or the internet will use you. The internet is a tool, and you get screwed by the tool if you allow it to. If you don't have uh, if you have absolutely nothing you're interested in life, you know what I mean? So don't listen to yourself. Your inner voice is going to guide you. And remember, early in the case, RCMP found out that Daniel rang the tip line 4 times. So if he can do that, what's stopping a female staging an attack? Well, I think it's the people who sent me the link, and several people have done it, to her Facebook. I don't know what her story is, man. Coming to think of it, I'll friend her right now. Crap. Okay, her name is Natasha Snow Haywood, if that is the correct one that I have. And apparently I have no friends in common with her, so I can't, but I will message her. Oh my goodness. Canada used to be a credible country, but not, well, you know what? I'm not making this about Canada. I want to make this very, very clear, guys. This is a universal thing. And law enforcement professionals are learning from each other worldwide in terms of how to keep their jobs, cover their bases. You know what I mean? So the danger always, in my opinion, is when we point the fingers at a certain, and you are in Canada, obviously, right? I think. Yeah, you are there. But when we point the fingers too much at what mistakes are made in other countries, it's a very dangerous thing, because then we tend to miss whatever is going on in our own communities. And I always believe that the best thing that we can do is to make a difference where we can, even if it's a small one, right? And this can be just by raising awareness and being steadfast. Remember, early in the case, RCMP found out that Daniel rang the. Okay, was Daniel the type of person to have enough gasoline to make 5 trips back and forth to the crime scene? Well, it depends from where. You know, I believe that Daniel removed the children via ATV. So are you talking about now the possible car? I believe something else was removed, because Belinda stated that the shed in the back, there were two, from what I recall, one of them was completely empty, and it struck her as strange to see such a cluttered place. And you saw also the property of Earl, right? You saw a picture of that. You witnessed this family's shitholiness, and there you gotten an idea. But that shed was completely empty. So I do believe whatever had been in there before, not related to Jack and Lily's disappearance, had also been removed, because it was something that police was not supposed to see, because they knew police would get there in the morning. So these many trips, I believe, were not all related to to getting Jack and Lily to disappear, but to also get rid of things that could have gotten Daniel in trouble. That's just my opinion. I feel this Natasha Haywood is a made-up story, maybe by Cindy. You know what? It's just one of many false leads, people. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not sure that she, well, people have told me, okay, she's actually from Nova Scotia and she may be friends with, I don't know. I'm looking into these things. Could be. Could also be she's just another yapper, like that woman who claimed to have seen Sebastian the day he disappeared. Remember that one? And a day later, police told her, "This is not Sebastian, you dumbass." The boy was probably screaming like, "I'm not. I'm a teenager with glasses. Leave me the hell alone." After she's been proven wrong, she still goes online. Well, I seen him. I know what I saw. I mean, I know. Well, it's my truth. You know what I mean? you can't. You can't project anything on anybody. You cannot assume people have your integrity, as you cannot assume people have your flaws. Projection, accept people for what they are and who they are. So this could be just an average BS tip. And most tips are BS, but I don't want to discourage people from giving them. Say what you think you saw, but limit it to what you actually saw. And don't make it about you. If you're wrong, you're wrong. There is no right or there's no right or wrong in, there's only the truth. So if you're doing things for the right reasons and have the right intentions, yes, let police know whatever is on your mind or what you really think. You know, if you feel like grandstanding, go to the chat room and of some channel that where people can yap around. Go there and exercise your demons. Or exercise your demons. Mike, right? Exercise. All right, cool. I love it when things come. Anyways, not important. Mike, another missing case. Child case flubbed by police here in Nova Scotia was 3. Dylan Arias, who went missing. And well, you know what? Are there any certain statements about Dylan Arias? Doesn't matter if it's from father, grandmother, or mother. And you know what? I don't care about her weird TikToks or things like that. That is not what gets my attention. I just need accurate statements. Accurate statements. If there are red flags anywhere, I want to see them. Where was Daniel waist deep in water? Yep. Wherever the water was muddy, wherever there was a huge surf effort, that's where Daniel was waist deep in water. And no, you cannot run through water waist deep, but it may have felt to him like running because it was strenuous. I'm just starting to wonder if the RCMP know what they are doing. Really, some yes and no. Like I said, no one took these kids. They died in a trailer and were taken into the woods, buried near. No, I don't believe they were buried. I do not believe that. Mm-mm. Nope, not with all of the water-related statements. This is just a cover-up done one of family. Again, I'm looking only at their statements, not any speculations, right? Then cabins are mentioned where Lily and Jack left alone in these cabins. Watch this video again. It's very concerning. And he states he got back to his trailer, I will assume as Malaya was on the phone. Well, I've analyzed this before, guys. Through the cabins to the children, right? I believe that he gotten something he forgotten. Maybe the boots, maybe the backpack, maybe something else, maybe the shirts to cover them. He was getting ready to transport the children away. That's what I think happened. And if you think otherwise, tell me why. If you're driving vehicle but slow is the driving that she actually saw the kids walking as if you're driving a vehicle, how slow is she driving that she actually saw the kids? That's another good point. I mean, did she drive by the main road, and where was she going? Was she headed towards New Glasgow? Was she driving fast? Was she slow? And what made you notice the kids? I want a lot more information. I would love to have a real statement from her, an actual statement, guys. And I told you how to find her. So feel free to, but be respectful about that, right? Please be respectful. Don't use the internet to vent frustration anonymously or from a distance. That's what a lot of people are doing. Oh, you fucking bitch, you liar, you blah blah. No, 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 don't do that. Hi, Natasha. I was wondering. I sent my own email, by the way, my own message. But hi, Natasha. How are you? I'm wondering, how sure are you that the children seen were Jack and Lily? Wait a minute. Okay, sent. You understand what I mean? Never think that what you see in cop movies is what you're supposed to do. Don't try to be like Perry Mason and expect people to crumble on this on the I wanted to I was gonna say on the stage, on the stand, and say, "Okay, you got me. I did it. Oh my God, you're so smart. You're my hero." And you caught me, and I cannot lie anymore, and I feel free now to tell you the truth. That's not what you do, man. You ask open-ended questions, and even if they lie to you, it can lead you to the truth. So you don't try to force an answer. Don't attack people online. Don't do online what you wouldn't do offline. That's all I'm saying. And that is the one thing that I see all over the place. That people express whatever thoughts they would be too scared to express offline. That's not what we do, people. And we don't need to do it. That's dumbassery. Mike, this case is one farce. Corruption comes in every form, and Joseph Morris has previously fought. Okay, you know what? Let me tell you something about Joseph Morris. Joseph Morris, I didn't know anything about until the case of Jack and Lily. And there is a process I go through. First of all, this came to my attention, this case, from Sweetie Pilo's Twitter feed. I saw Daniel's fake crying. I saw Malaya's red flag interview. And I was sent a link to some article that featured Joseph Morris's videos. I disagree with the thought that they were, when I disagreed openly when he said at the end in one of his videos, I think they were abducted or they were taken by family. I forgot exactly what he said, but the trainer thought that he was following. That's when I say, okay, I'm done now. And that's it. So I don't know what anybody has done in the past, and I like the fact that he is fast paced. He sticks to the point mostly. So here's the thing: he goes through the things, and then at the end he shares his opinion. What he doesn't do, which is atrocious in my well, what he doesn't do is state facts then interrupt with his own opinion. State facts, interrupt with own opinion. That's what makes me suffer. When I have 5 minutes worth of good material spread all over an hour segment of just complete nonsense. So I like the fact that it is, he states what he states, and I fact check things, and I don't detect deception or uncertainty or anything or any certain types of intentions that are contrary to. So that's what I like it when I have facts only. to listen to. And when it stops, same at Crime and Shame, I tune in when there is something specific that I'm interested in. I don't need to hang on and then let somebody on the panel tell me what I'm supposed to think or where my mind is supposed to run with that, right? I look for the facts wherever they are. So I'm not sitting here for hours listening to a live, wishing they'd get to the point. I only do that when there's actually good information and it's not compressed into a 5 minute, a shorter segment of just information. But when there's a little bit here, 20 seconds of information and then 6 minutes of discussion, another 20 seconds, 5 minutes of discussion, a minute and a half, 20 minutes of discussion, including things that make absolutely no sense. That's what bothers me. And that's why I always say, if you send me something, please send me the timestamps, the specific ones. I want to get to the sentences. I want to get straight there to the statements from the people who know what happened. You know what I mean? That's what I want to get to, guys. And that's extremely important, not to get sidetracked. So again, the person who a while ago said to me, it's your fault that I listened to the whole Durwood interview because you mentioned Crime and Shame. What the hell are you talking? What? I didn't watch it. So don't assume that because I tune into a channel that I like everything else on that channel. I'm here for the information and that information only. And by the way, I am bored with gossip and what many consider entertainment. I find the truth to me is more exciting than any fabrication or storytelling. The RCMP are excellent at finding people going 5 kilometers over speed limit. Yeah, I agree, and I'm not thinking about the RCMP specifically. I don't know how it's in Canada, but everywhere I lived, most places I lived, they're very good at bullshit. They're very good. That's when you see, but that's an idiot job to stop people for traffic violations, minor violations that don't really endanger anybody, right? And I'm a great driver. I know people who are not good drivers, and they shouldn't even be allowed to go the speed limits, in my opinion, because they don't. Everybody has a different ability, but kind of putting everybody in the same box. And I agree. I see things, I absolutely agree. And that's when yeah, I think everybody can sort of relate to what you just said. Yeah, the Porto Peak case. Okay, you're referring to the uh, one case that the guy had been talking about here. Wait, I get some messages right now. Um, and you see, I always go by the truth. Oftentimes, I notice when I see something, read something, but when I read it for a second time, that's when I really pay attention. So, so remember the comment that the girl posted from New York saying, I cut these kids' hair last week? That was ages ago. Did anything ever come of that statement? And if I'm correct, there is a reservation in that. What? The guy on the right says, a woman named Natasha Haywood. I don't know a Natasha Haywood. I've told you before. He's that Adam Rogers, right here. I think I said already what I think about him. I think I already stated what my bells and whistles are. Palango knows his stuff. Both books on Porto Peak are very well researched. Yeah, well, when the right people recommend something to me, I do pay attention. Two old guys follow the. Mm-mm. Well. Crime Courtroom Confidential. I hope you have looked at some of my coverage. Tiny new channel, but I have reached the same opinions as you. As a lawyer, I smell deception in the way this material came out. I do not care about the size of your channel. As a matter of fact, I know that the. Well, I'm seeing something on the side. Donna Addison? Ah, never mind. I will check it out. Thanks again for your work, Mike. Very much. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it's nice to have the knowledge to listen to these people and see the inconsistency in their stories. Absolutely. So you can listen to whatever you like, but have your radar up. Most people, when they hear a lie repeated enough times, tend to start considering the lie to be a truth. And it puts you into a very dangerous position where you're being compromised and may not even notice it. This type of article is a joke to me, of course, as it is to most of you. But make no mistake, I think to the majority of the population, it'll be like, oh well, maybe I was just imagining things. You're right, I was too harsh on Daniel. Oh, he seems like a nice young man. Oh yeah, I like when he smiles. Oh, he's friendly. No, he was a good stepfather, and he whatever. People are so gullible and so easy to influence. I'm almost finished, guys. Yep, you are in our prayers, Belinda. Thank you very much. Oh my God. No, thank you, Belinda. There's no need to ever thank me. So now I think that's it for now, guys. I just figured that, you know, when I bring up something, uh, like I wasn't sure if I should do it with my last video, and I want to make sure that you guys realize the reason I'm doing it, because I don't want you to be. Sorry, I'm looking. Ola said the boogeyman. Oh, that's about the Harrow case. Yeah, yeah. I'm. Thank you, Amy Fain. Amy E. Fain, your full name. Thank you so much. You know what, guys? Um, the more you're going to get used to analyzing people, the more you're going to recognize how two things. A, how full of it most people are, or so many people are. And that can shock you because it can also pinpoint people in your own lives. But also, what will happen is you will appreciate people you have taken for granted before. You appreciate people who put real thoughts into everything. People who are not blind believers and not dismissive by nature either. Because to me, blind belief and disbelief are of the same origin. So, blind believers and blind disbelievers, we don't have. Let me see. I have a different opinion. I feel the RCMP are threatened by you, and so they only allow part of the documents info to be unsealed. Yeah. Keep in mind, your lawyer can ask for disclosure, including under very CB Canada. Very good. I have a different opinion, different from whom? I must have missed that. But again, intention detection is my specialty and my passion more than anything. Whatever you do for the right reasons, when you do things for the right reasons, you don't feel the need to explain why you do something. You just do it. So always know how to differentiate. People will make mistakes, but when somebody intentionally or carelessly um, misleads you, don't trust them again. I'm Mike the Man, and I thank you for your comments.